Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good morning, CaneSport. It's December 17th, 2021. I'm Gary Ferman, the publisher of CaneSport.com, joined as always by our managing editor, Matt Shodell, as we discuss the news of the day. And a couple days removed now from National Signing Day, but still plenty of recruiting activity going on. And Matt, I'm all about Jaleel Skinner this morning, man. I'm telling you, I am all about Jaleel Skinner's dad, to be more specific. What a cool dude, man. I mean, like anybody that, well, let me just tell the story from the beginning. So Jaleel Skinner's dad, Matt tried to call him yesterday, and he calls Matt back, and Matt looks at his phone, and the caller ID reads, "You butt go wipe." Seriously. Y-A-B-U-T.
I took a picture of it. Wait, can I get the picture in here somehow?
Yeah, sure, go ahead, while I'm talking about
these cameras. I can't ever figure out which way to go. Oh my God.
Yeah, your butt go wipe. That's the caller ID.
Look who's right above it. Look who I called before that.
All right. I'm
Gary Ferman, go wipe your butt. That's basically what it says.
So, I mean, you got to love a guy that has a caller ID like that. I'm not quite sure how he manipulates.
I took two pictures. This is the other one I took. Oh my God, I can't get everything's backwards. That's the other one I took. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
You can't make it up. No, you absolutely can't make it up.
That's his name.
Clearly a family that's having fun with all this recruiting process. And in the past, when he's called, his caller ID has said things like Freddy Krueger or other celebrities. So now he's your butt go wipe. And Matt, by the end of today, I think somebody's going to be telling him to go wipe his butt because I
think other people will be wiping his butt after today. Whoever he picks will be wiping his butt.
Okay,
it'll be either Alabama's wiping my butt or Miami's wiping my butt. It's gonna be one or the other.
I was trying to be a little bit more sanitary, I guess I'll say. Like, I was trying not to go that deep, but whatever.
So horrible.
Whatever. So they'll be wiping Jaleel Skinner's dad's butt.
Listen, my only concern he calls me. Okay, obviously he called me because if I called him, I never would have seen it. He calls me, and I see this on my caller ID. I'm like, who can this be? I saw it was from South Carolina. So I'm like, this cannot be Jaleel or Jaleel's dad or Jaleel's mom. I've talked to all three of them. I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, it's got to be a solicitor, a toilet paper company, sanitation services, a prank call. Some fan has found out my phone number. All these things go through your head in a split second. Like, someone's messing with me. I'm like, hello? He's like, hey, Matt. I'm like I'm supposed to know who it is. From your butt go wipe. I'm like, who is this? He's like, it's Jaleel's dad. I'm like, oh, okay. I said, do you know how your phone number comes up? And he says, yeah, go wipe your butt. I said, that's not what mine said.
Not quite.
Mine was a little backwards. Maybe not the perfect spelling in terms of, if you're going to spell it for your English class, but he says, I've done all different ones. I've done, he did some other butt one. He starts rattling off celebrities that he's had their name on there. Like, this guy's a character, which, so we were laughing for a while about it. But, this is why when you guys read the story this morning on the website, like when he says, like pretty forcefully at times, like, we are going out, not my son's going to Alabama, we are going to Alabama.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to take this guy seriously. Like, is he just playing the biggest joke of all? Like, this is a guy who puts wipe your butt on his phone calls. Like, when he tells you, wipe your butt, my son's going to Alabama in almost the same sentence. Like, do you really believe his son's going to Alabama? Like, this is one of the weirdest freaking things I've ever seen. Like, I don't even know what to believe because Jaleel didn't return to my calls. I was so taken aback by wipe your butt that I didn't even bother asking the dad, like, hey, does Jaleel feel like talking? I'm sure he's overwhelmed. But, I always ask them usually, like, hey, if he's not too overwhelmed, have him call me or whatever. Like, that didn't even enter my mind because I was, like, just so thrown by the wipe your butt. So, like, listen, we'll find out with everyone else today. And it's not like Jaleel was going to tell us, hey, I'm going here or I'm going there. But I would have liked to ask Jaleel what he thought about his dad's,
Antics.
phone names at least. At least get a quote on that. But I guess we'll find out after he signs tomorrow. Maybe someone will ask him, like, do you do that on your phone, Jaleel, or is it just your dad? Like, is it a hereditary thing that you have to put different names on your phone? So anyway, needless to say, Gary, when from now on, when you get calls, I've changed my name. When I call you, it's going to be Batman to Robin. Come in, Robin. That's what it's going to say from now on.
Okay. It's a little bit better than wipe my butt, quite frankly.
I'm not doing anything about my butt.
Yeah, please. No.
I didn't even ask him where that came from. Did he get the idea from somebody? Like, I didn't want to go there. Like, it comes in my head, like, how does he think of these things? And I'm like, I don't even want to know. Like, I'm not even asking that question. Like, no. We're just going to move on. Well,
we're 5 minutes and 25 seconds into this story, and I think what people really want to know is Jaleel Skinner coming to Miami? And it's at best 50-50. I mean, people love percentages. I would say 60-40 Alabama, probably. How often does a kid commit to Bama and then, defect? I mean,
listen, I didn't put this
ever happens.
I didn't put this in the story, but like the dad says to me, like the only letter of intent papers that he's aware of them getting is from Alabama, which is obviously not true.
Yeah, that's total nonsense.
So like, so what else do you take seriously with him? Like, I mean, he's just having some fun.
He's having fun.
But listen, I do believe the part about his wife in the Alabama pot, that I believe.
Yeah.
I think that's true. But like the rest of it, like it wouldn't shock. It would surprise me if Jaleel picked Miami. It wouldn't shock me just because I know the amount of time that Stephen Fields put in, and just the fact that this kid could come in and in his second year be the guy and probably go pro after his third year. Just because Will Mallory is going to be gone after that first year. I mean, I think he, as good as Elijah Arroyo is,
he might be a big receiver too. He's not locked into being a tight end.
That's true. They moved him around a lot this year. They moved him around, even used him in the slot. So you're right. They could use Will Mallory and him. But what I'm saying is he'll be the guy next year. Whereas this year, you got to think Will's going to get a lot of targets. So
we'll see. Yeah. First, he's got to come. But I will say this: if one of your kids committed to Alabama, I would probably buy you an Alabama pot as well. So I agree with you.
You would not. You would not.
I would buy you an Alabama pot.
The publisher of CaneSport would be seen buying an Alabama pot somewhere? No.
I would mail order it. I would order it on Amazon and have it shipped to your house. Listen, it would be an Alabama pot.
You better edit this. You better edit this out before the show airs because fans are going to light up the responses that CaneSport publisher is going to buy an Alabama pot for someone whose kids going to Alabama. There's no way. I wouldn't do it.
Been there, done that.
I would buy an Alabama pot for you, but it would say Alabama sucks. Alabama doesn't roll. That's what you would get from me.
Listen, I've bought merchandise from other schools before for different reasons. I mean, it happens. It's not.
By the way, have you seen the Roll Tide guy? By the way, my son makes me watch this stupid thing on. I think it's on TikTok or one of these stupidity things. If you guys haven't seen it, and maybe some of you who are watching this have, because a lot of people.
I've been too busy watching. Travis Hunter throwing Florida State hats off the table. How great was that?
Listen, I don't know why there's like multiple thousand of people watching this every morning. I would think people had better things to do. But if you are watching this and you have not seen the Roll Tide guy with his stupid jokes on Instagram or TikTok or something, like look it up because my son's enamored with it, and it is kind of funny some of the stupid stuff he does. So what's he
do? I'm looking for it right now.
Go look for it. I don't know. My son just I have zero. I don't even have a TikTok account. All I know is like
he's called the Roll Tide guy.
Roll Tide. Hold on. Yeah, I'll try to find it right now since you can. I
mean, I think you got people curious now. So I mean,
I'm sure people know who I'm talking about. Here it is. Roll Tide guy on TikTok. Just Google that. Here, I'll bring it up. Yeah, this is the guy right here. I got a picture of him. And I mean, he looks like a Roll Tide guy. So let's see. Not now. This is the guy. Oh, I can't get it on my screen. That's the guy.
Him?
I don't know what happens if I hit play. I don't know what just happened. She was wearing clothes. I don't know what's going on.
Right. You better be careful.
I don't know what's happening on my TikTok. I don't even have TikTok, but like stuff's just playing. This is the problem. When you make me do something I don't even know what I'm doing.
Listen,
I open up TikTok.
I've seen some crazy stuff on people's phones when they're just showing you certain things and stuff. I mean,
yeah.
So be careful. Anyway, all right. So Jaleel Skinner, we got the story with his dad, totally toying with Matt with all this nonsense. And the truth of the matter is he's 50-50, and this would be a massive flip from Mario Cristobal. Like I said, I think it's 60-40 Alabama.
You just said 50-50. They just
no.
lost 10%. What happened in the last 10 seconds?
No, I think 60-40. You got to give Alabama
What
the
changed
benefit
in the
of
last
doubt.
10 seconds?
But yeah, I may have accidentally said 50-50, but I really meant 60-40 because
I think you saw the Roll Tide. You saw the Roll Tide guy. You thought
that changed my mind. Yeah,
that guy is making it 50-50. Nobody wants to play with the Roll Tide guy there. That's 50-50 now, and then you're like, well, it's still probably 60-40.
Yeah, it sounds fair. All right, so he's probably going to Bama, but listen, Miami's been fighting hard for several weeks now, and they did get a visit from him last weekend. Do not count out the Canes until he actually puts his pen to paper on a letter of intent. And don't listen to his dad when his dad said he only has Alabama papers. He has Miami papers there as well. All right, on to some other stuff. The other guy that seems like sucks up all the oxygen in the room, Shamar Stewart, Matt. He dropped his top 3.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yeah. Now,
what?
Didn't he do this like a month ago?
It's the top 3 that everybody already knew it was.
Yeah, but did he do that a month ago? I mean, I love Shamar. Shamar's a great kid.
He's going to do a top 3 every week, probably. I don't know. I don't know what you do. Listen, the smartest thing this guy ever did, if you believe in NIL and if you believe in marketing and getting a brand, the smartest thing you could ever do is be the last 5-star standing in February. You know,
yeah.
All the attention. Now it's good and bad because everybody, like I'm going to be camping out on his lawn for the, I already have reservations across the street. I got a nice little 1-bedroom across the street for the week before signing. I'm just going to be staying there, and just if he comes out, I'll be running out there with my tape recorder.
Little Airbnb.
I got an Airbnb right across the street from him. So that's what you get. That's what you get, Shamar, for waiting until February just so you get some more followers. Maybe you'll catch up to the Roll Tide guy and the number of followers you got.
But he's loving every second of this. He's always got a smile on his face. He keeps taking visits. He's going back to Texas A&M yet again. In January. He's going to visit Miami again in February, where he's already visited about 25 times. He is getting the mileage out of this recruiting process.
If they had an April signing day, he'd sign in April. If they had a July 1st signing day, he'd sign July 1st. He will play this for all it's worth, man. I mean, you're right. He's having a good time playing the game. Not doing a lot of interviews, but he's enjoying it.
I will say this, Matt. The longer it goes, I think the better chance Miami has.
100%.
The longer it goes, the more recruiting that Mario Cristobal can get done, the more organized that Miami can get, and they are going to become a player in this whole NIL, nonsense that we see going on in college football. There will be good NIL programs around the Miami program, no question about it. And I think as the time goes by, that Miami's chances get better with Shamar Stewart.
I mean, can you imagine Nigel Kelly, Cyrus Moss, and Shamar Stewart in the same class?
This is what Mario does.
The other ACC coastal teams should just go home. It's over. Those quarterbacks on these other ACC teams, you better get in that transfer portal and find a different division to go to, a different conference.
This is why they're paying him $8 million a year.
Well, if you get both of them, let's wait and see. But that would be
they may not get them all. But the point is, this is what he does. This is what Mario Cristobal does. And he is more lethal at Miami than he ever was at Oregon. Because at Oregon, he had to get them to come to school in the middle of nowhere. This is in the middle of a dynamic, international, cosmopolitan city with a beautiful campus. And the indoor practice facility is only 70 yards instead of 100. And people try to make a big deal about that, please. The U is still the U. The U can be the U again. And Mario Cristobal can recruit at the U better than he could at the O. Trust me.
Let me ask you something.
No more of this O nonsense.
Don't make the O's on my screen. Let me ask you something.
That's what these do. The O.
I know what they do. I don't want to see it. Let me ask you a question. And this just popped in my head. It might be totally wrong. But in the old days, you remember when Art Kehoe was the offensive line coach, in the 18th century, right? I remember he would go to Pennsylvania and Ohio and Canada. That's where he would get his offensive linemen from. And Mario got the offensive linemen in Oregon, 5 stars and 4 stars. And he tried to get a couple of them to come here. And I'm thinking the whole city vibe might actually be a problem.
It might with some of those kids. Because you know where he used to go, Matt? You know where he used to love to go?
These are country kids, and
but not just country kids. You know where else he used to go? He used to go get the Samoans in Utah, the Sewells, the Panay Sewells of the world and those kind of guys.
But my point is, like, the city's great for some kids, but some of these big offensive linemen, for whatever reason, they grow up in the country and they're sort of used to that, and they're not fans of the big city. Believe it or not, in a lot of rural areas, they make fun of the people that live in the cities. And if you grow up with, like, everyone in your community of 5,000 people saying, man, look at those idiots running around the big city like they're big honchos, dressed up in their fancy suits, like everything, every second matters, cutting everyone off, creating traffic, whatever. And like now Miami's comes calling, and you got, a school that's not as cosmopolitan. Like, it's actually, I think, to some of these major offensive linemen, a drawback. And Mario is such a good offensive line coach. So it was like a little surprising to me. Like, they got Shamar, they did really well with the defensive backs. But I did think that he was going to be able to maybe pull in one of the Oregon offensive linemen he had. Even that kid from Texas, the kid who went to Texas, I thought he could pull him in. So, like, I was a little surprised at that. But as I think about it now, it hadn't even occurred to me until you started talking about the city thing. Like, I think some kids are less comfortable in a city. Some of these big, beefy kids who grew up in the country, and like, maybe that's part of it. Maybe I'm just sort of spitballing, but maybe that is part of it. Maybe that's something you've got to work against.
Nah, let me tell you, that works in all directions. Like Mario had one of those Samoan kids from Utah. He was Mormon, I guess, or whatever, that went to Oregon, didn't really feel like he fit, and very quickly, he was a 5-star offensive lineman. Very quickly left Oregon, went back home to Utah to go to BYU. Like, because that's where.
Have you been to Salt Lake City? It's not a major city. Okay,
no,
I've been there.
I'm looking forward to going. I think Miami's playing there in a few years. But
oh my God, if you go, we went to Park City, and it's just spectacular there. I loved Utah, man. It is so much fun out there. And Park City is only an hour from Salt Lake City. It's the only ski resort and like that you can fly into a major city, and an hour later you're on the mountain. In Colorado, you got to drive 3 hours usually, or 2 hours. Or
now I can take a little road trip to Utah State and visit my boys Ferman and Gervin Hall. No, Gervin Hall. How about Gervin Hall going to Utah State to play for Efrain Banda? Though?
Well, Banda's defense did really well this year. He took a defense that was bad, really bad, and I'm happy for him. But they still call him the bartender, I think, right? Just because he tended bar before he became a coach. Yeah, they all call him the bartender. It's ridiculous.
Hey, Mario Cristobal was going to be a CIA agent or Secret Service.
Listen,
it was CIA or Secret Service. I can't remember.
He still might be, honestly. He might be doing both. I could see him. I could see him flying off to the Middle East, in the middle of the night. That's why he doesn't sleep. He's recruiting during the day and he's working for the CIA at night. I could see that. That'd be a great movie.
But like getting back to this transfer thing, it could work in all directions. Like, I'm going to tell everybody right now, I'm going to give you a name. No, I'm not, because I don't want somebody to outscoop us with the scoop. But we'll get to that in coming days. But it can work in all directions. This transfer thing. All right. Other stuff on the website this morning. So other than Shamar Stewart, we have an article about all the leftover targets, and there's many of them. This is going to be a very active second.
Well, that was from yesterday. Yeah, that was an interesting story because there's a lot of them, a lot of talent.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent still out there that Miami will be recruiting. We've got a story on a defensive tackle from Oregon who's already in the portal and is considering Miami. So you'll want to check that out. And then we have grading both the offense and the defense of the signing day class. So tons of stuff for you to dive your teeth into today at CaneSport.com. And Matt, I think that's going to do it.
That's it. 18 minutes.
That's it, man.
People are complaining it's too short. They're like, I have a 40-minute drive. You got to talk for 40 minutes.
Got to talk for 40 minutes. Some days, but we try to keep it to 20 because, so people can soak it in, on their, over a cup of coffee or, not everybody has a 40-minute commute. And, we try not to turn it into good night CaneSport. So, I think we're good, Matt. We're at about 18:45 right now. So so we'll say goodbye. For Matt Shodell, I'm Gary Ferman. We hope everybody has the greatest day in the world today. And I guess we'll see everybody on Monday morning. Have a great weekend, everybody.